Alright, it's maintenance day. So today we're doing some tires right now. A couple on the trailer, a couple on the truck. And while we're doing these tires, we're also inspecting certain things. The front of the truck, we've already got it tore apart as far as the tires off. Was able to check the front end, kingpins, all the steering linkages, stuff like that. We have to rebuild the front end again. A couple of the tie rods are, well, one of the tie rods is pretty bad on the driver's side. Didn't know it, but we just checked this. We just checked those about a month ago, actually, because I put a tie rod in on the passenger side. So now the driver's side needs replaced. Right here, front wheel, right here. We're taking that tire off. Tread's getting a little thin. One brake was working here before I swapped everything out. This trailer's got all brand new brakes, everything on it now, and this tire's just a little bit thin. Had one with a nail in it on the other side. That happened yesterday. Before I left for Pennsylvania. So I put my spare on here. We're going to get that one taken care of. We're going to take this tire, put it back here. That'll match the tread up for the back of the other side. We're going to put the two brand new tires up front on the front axle. So that's what we're doing right now. Plenty more maintenance to come on this video, so let's make it happen. All right, now that we're back from the tire shop, I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet and do more work than talk. We're going to do out the headlights and turn signals. That's going to be replaced. I got an oil change to do on this truck. It needs serviced. We also have, being that I had to put tires on it, had some abnormal wear on the tires, which turns out to be the drag link was bad and inner tie rod for the driver's side was bad. But I'm going to go ahead and replace every bit of it up front. Again, it's been a year and a half, a lot of abuse and potholes that I've ran into and stuff over the year and a half. So we're just going to go ahead and do it. It was definitely cheap enough. With the oil filter, Wix oil filter, and all the front end parts, it was like 200 and some bucks, you know, 225 bucks or something like that. Real cheap in my eyes to do. So we're going to go ahead and knock that out and get that done. Also, the other thing that I have going on, if you guys haven't noticed in the videos, this guy right here has been flopping around right there. So we're going to get that taken care of. We're going to jack this truck up and go under it with fine-tooth comb, look over everything, make sure there's no leaks, drips, or anything like that, which I know there isn't as of right now. This truck sat over a weekend on a concrete pad and never dripped a drop. But we want to at least pull the rear tires off, you know, inspect the brakes, all that stuff. I already inspected the brakes on the front, but the front's coming off anyway because we're going to take the hubs off and re-grease the front bearings, inner and outers, put new seals, dust seals on, and get everything ready to go there. Got about 50,000 miles on it. This tire here, I actually saved this tire off the trailer when we was at the tire shop. It's got a couple little flat spots right before I changed the brakes on the trailer. Noticed one was grabbing a little bit more and sliding the tire. This is that tire that it was sliding. Took it off, put it on a spare wheel. It's going to be good for my dump trailer. My dump trailer never leaves the county, so it'll be perfect for that. And yes, I have not one spare, but I also have another spare down here for the trailer. I always carry a couple spares with me no matter what. That way, if I do have blowouts, we're good to go. But we are going to do inspection on the truck and on the tilt bed trailer. That's the main thing. So let's get to it. Enough gabbing. Time to get to work. Okay, just to give you guys a better visual on what's going on. This is the inner tie rod for the driver's side. This is the drag link. This is not supposed to shake any way without this moving as well. In the same way at all your joints. Here, this is loose here at the steering box. So we're just going to rebuild this under here and make it happen. But what you do is you just take, it's easier if you have two people. You just wiggle the tire back and forth. And as you're wiggling, see if I can get the camera to hold still. There's just a slight movement there. Same way with here. Very, very slight movement there. Not much, but a little. It is moving. So that's why we're changing everything out. So it'll be this outer, this inner, the lock, this drag link, all the way down there, that lock, and then the outer tie rod. That's what we're replacing. All the bushings, as far as all the bushings go, all the bushings in the sway bar link all look great. No issues with those at all. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the tires off because these hubs are coming off anyway. I'm going to go ahead and get that pulled off, and we'll get back at it. All right, let's give you a quick update on what's going on. So we have new headlights and marker lights in. You can see the difference there between the old and the new. The old being there, new is all this. But we ended up getting those in. The old ones I didn't think were that discolored, but yeah, they are. Plus it was broke anyway, so it needed replaced. Went ahead and got the same thing, put it all back together. I was happy with it. That's 2 years old, perfectly fine with the $100 that it cost. I got the front end apart. As you can see, there's nothing holding that, as far as steering. It's all right here. We got the stupid horsefly. We got the passenger side done, but I can't finish the driver's side until tomorrow. I'm missing that drag link right there. I ended up with the wrong one, and I ended up with the wrong sleeve. So that'll be in tomorrow, along with my ABS cable, wheel speed sensor. We'll get that put on tomorrow as well. Today we're going to take the drums off, inspect the bearings, put new grease in, along with a new rear seal. Them seals were cheap, very cheap. Anytime I pull this off, I don't try to use the old one. I always put a new one in. Yep, we're going to do that, put everything back together, make sure everything's good to go on the front. And then we'll move to the back. We're going to pull the hubs off the back, which entails pulling the axles out, the axle shafts out, and taking the drum off. It is a drum caliper, all this stuff's coming off. The reason I call it a drum is because you got drum brakes inside here, even though this is disc brake, with a rotor attached to the drum. The drum is for the parking brake, emergency brake. So we want to get in there and be able to inspect the emergency brake, make sure we don't have any broken springs, make sure everything's good, make sure it's going to work properly for a long time, and just get a good inspection on it. You can't see nothing in from the back side. It's all closed off. So we have to take all of this off just to check that out. Another reason we pulled the rear wheels off is we want to check the inner wheels during your inspection. Typically, I just checked these about a month and a half, 2 months ago, when I ended up buying the rear tires for the truck, and everything looked good. So I wasn't really expecting to see anything, but what you look for here is egg shaping on the holes. That's mainly a loose wheel. You want to make sure that there's no egg shaping. You want to make sure there's no cracks or anything. You want to get a real good visual on the wheels and check them out. It's basically just like a pre-trip, just really glorified whenever you're doing an inspection. So just remember, CDL. What does CDL stand for? Cracks, damaged, leak. Lug nuts can leak, they can be cracked, wheels can be cracked, damaged, all that stuff. That's what you look for whenever you're doing a pre-trips. Crack, damage, and leaks. Anything cracked, damaged, or leaks needs to be fixed. So as far as leaks go, I know this truck isn't leaking anything. I do have a seal that is wet on the back side of the transmission, the output shaft seal. Looks a little wet, so we ended up getting a new one of those ordered. It'll be in here. It's actually an oddball seal. It's a larger seal than normal, which I guess is a good thing. This truck's built pretty beefy. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff. We're going to keep working here. If I find something that is, you know, that I think you guys ought to see or, you know, be alerted about on these trucks, I'll let you know. This is just a quick update on what's going on so far. So I'll let you know my progress here in a little bit. All right, quick recap. Everything's done on the truck. Didn't have any issues as far as the bearings go on the front. Got those repacked, taken care of. The emergency brake here on the back. Both sides were fine. Got it all put back together, ready to go. Just put the tires on. Got the front end all done. Slip under here. Oh, goodness. Just finished the front end. So we've got an outer tie rod in there. We've got the drag link here, along with the inner tie rod for the driver's side and the outer tie rod. So, oh yeah, now you can see. Also have right there that cable. That's my new ABS cable. So we got it in there, got it hooked up. Haven't checked anything yet, but that should clear the light off of the dash for the ABS. And next thing to do is take this off the stands here, that one and that one, and run it into the alignment shop and try to get alignment done on it. As soon as we get that done, we'll get the trailer up here and get it done. All right, well, we just brought in the Ford on the trailer, get alignment done. I didn't have anybody to follow me in to take me back home or whatever, so we just loaded it up on the trailer on the gooseneck here and brought it in with the red truck. So we'll get the alignment done on this bad boy today. We'll come back in and pick it up. In the meantime, we'll go back to the house and get the trailer done. All right, now we're back here at the house. We'll go ahead and get started on the trailer. I'll get the deck lifted up and we'll show you what we're actually looking for here as far as the trailer goes on the inspection. All right, so what I look for during my inspections on my trailer is I pretty much go over everything. I look at all of the joints as far as the cross members, any kind of gusseting, anything in that nature, any part that is welded to the trailer, and I check all welds, make sure that there's no welds broke. You know, if it is, it needs to be addressed. There is one thing on these tilt trailers that I'll show you here in a minute that happens quite a bit as far as braking, and I've come up with a little bit of a solution for that. I'll show you that here in a minute. With this trailer, being that I got it jacked up, I actually set it up on boards back there. That way when the trailer's up, I can spin the tires. Okay, what I look for here is all of your bushings inside your springs. You know, try to shake. If anything moves, you know, if the spring moves back and forth or anything in that nature, then you need new spring bushings in here. Okay, also another thing that you look for is the equalizer. Ouch. Your equalizer, which is this dude right here. Okay, you want to look up in the equalizer. Let's see if I can get a better shot at this. Maybe I can zoom in on the other side from here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's your equalizer. A lot of your equalizers, there's a little tip right at the top there that wears out and breaks off, and then your spring rides on top. Zoom you back out. I'll bring you back over to this one. Your spring will start riding on the top of the plate here. Okay, on the top of your plate of the equalizer underneath, and what happens is that'll start wearing out, weakening, thinning out, and break off. So if that becomes an issue to where this piece right here is missing on the inside of your spring, if that is missing, then you need to change out your equalizer. You also want to make sure that the bushings are good on the back at your equalizer, which is right there. Okay, for the back axle, you want to check your bushings for the equalizer itself. Any of that's bad, you're going to have bad tire wear, you know, whatever have you. You got to get that taken care of. Okay. Now, fortunately, I keep a real good eye on this stuff, and I've just rebuilt, within the past 2 months, I've just rebuilt the new springs, new equalizers, new bushings, new hubs, new bearings, new brakes, just put 2 new tires on the front. So I know all that is good. I check it all the time. It's something that just comes natural with me as far as checking everything out. You know, I'm able to spin the tires with this being up on the block as it is here, being that the trailer lifted itself. Now let's get back to that weld that I wanted to show you on these tilt trailers. So get climbed up under here. I can show you. All right. Okay, so this is from the front side looking back. All right. On these tilt trailers, the only thing holding the top frame together with your deck are your pivot points. Here, 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 and here on the back side. Okay, that's the only thing that holds this thing on. Those pivot points are welded to a piece of tubing, okay, which is welded off to the frame rail. Shortly after I bought this trailer, I noticed that this weld was breaking. It was breaking across the tube, okay, and I ended up welding all that back together, and I'll show you how to take care of that issue. It was a design flaw. They just needed to add another piece of metal, but I ended up adding it, and I haven't had any issues out of it for the past 4 years. Seemed like I was always chasing cracks across either the front side or the back side of this tube on each side. This one here still held up good, no busted welds on either side. Everything's good. We'll go ahead and set the trailer back down, and we'll crawl under the back side of it so I can show you what to do as far as fixing that issue. All right, so underneath the rear of the trailer, here's all those pivot points for the top deck. What I ended up doing is I took a 2x2 by 1/4 inch piece of angle and ran it across the back side of that tube, as you can see, and I tied it in and stitch weld across the tube here at the bottom, and I welded all of these pivot point brackets. Let's see if I can get up there. Welded all the pivot point brackets to that. Okay, what that's done is actually tightened everything up to keep from twisting that tube from breaking on each side. You know, that's something that you don't want breaking off. You lose the deck of the trailer. The only thing that would be holding you at that point would be the cylinders up front on these tilt decks. So just a little bit of a design flaw that has happened with these trailers. I'm not sure if they've got it taken care of yet, but that was the fix. Okay, putting a piece of angle up here on the top, stitch welding it across the bottom to the tube, and welding the top of the angle to the pivot point brackets of the tilt deck part. So that was the fix. The other thing that I look for on the trailers as far as welds is I'll look at all the cross members, make sure all the cross members are good, make sure nothing's broke, you know, cracked or anything like that. Trailers take a lot of abuse and really need to be taken care of and looked over real well as far as anything like that. You need to check your springs, you know, typical stuff. Check your springs, make sure your brakes are good, adjust your brakes, all welding points. You know, anything that is welded, anything that is metal, you really have to go over it with a fine-tooth comb. DOT crawl underneath your trailer and find a busted weld, they're going to down you. So another thing that I had an issue with is this rear bumper here, the ICC bumper. It's on a spring. That way it folds up whenever the tilt trailer, or whenever I tilt the trailer up. And the problem that I actually had them weld it once, and they didn't do a very good job, so I done it. Yeah, I'm a big fat guy crawling under these trailers. But anyway, what ended up happening was, get situated. This bar right here, which is on the spring, basically holds the spring. So when this pivots up, you know, the bumper itself can fold up to the top of the trailer, or, you know, up to the floor of the trailer, without crushing anything. And when the trailer is on its, you know, where it's supposed to be as far as running up and down the road, the spring holds the IC seat bumper back here from bouncing around. Well, this bar right here has broke off of here twice. Once from the factory. I took it back to where I bought the trailer from. They welded it on, and it fell off within a week. Then I welded it on and haven't had any more issues with it. So that was another design flaw. I don't know if somebody else has had that issue. I imagine so. But other than that, these PJ trailers have been pretty good. They are a little bit more heavier than your other trailers, just because they're tube rails instead of channel rails down the side. I seem to like the PJ. Get out from under here. I really like the PJ trailer. Just, I don't know. It's been a real good trailer for me. Granted, it's a bumper pull and it's only 22 foot long, but in my line of work and what I haul and everything, this trailer has been fantastic. It's done real well. So the only thing is, you know, I busted a board, haven't replaced that. I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's not affecting anything. Maybe later on in life we'll redeck the whole trailer eventually, but not right now. Wood's too expensive. But I'm going to go through, get this trailer done. Don't want this video being extremely long, so it's just what's happening. Go through, check it out, make sure we're all good, get it stickered up, good to go, annual inspection. Okay, well, the PJ all checked out. It's good to go. Got the DOT inspection done on it. Just got to fill out the paperwork. I spent a couple hours on this trailer. Yeah, a couple hours. Just going through, checking all welds, making sure nothing's broke, checking everything over real well with fine-tooth comb. That's what you need to do whenever you're doing your annual inspections. And honestly, you guys should be doing this a couple times a week. You know, in a parking lot or whatever, if you're doing your 34-hour reset, whatever, need to check over your equipment. It's always good to keep an eye on it, get it taken care of when it happens. You know, spot it right away and get it done. It also rained. I went and picked up the truck. It was raining, whatever. Truck checked out. We got front end alignment done on it. Got everything buttoned up on it. Just have to do the paperwork. The only other thing that I have to do to the truck, and I'll do it tonight, is adjust the headlights. I imagine they're way out of whack, being that we just installed those. But I'm going to get the headlights done tonight, and I'll be ready to be back on the road tomorrow. Between the truck and the trailer, everything's good. DOT inspection's done, annual. We're ready to rock and roll. Maybe this weekend I'll get everything cleaned up between the truck and the trailer as well, make them look all nice and pretty. So until next time, guys, video's kind of long. This is what I look for in the annual inspection. This is stuff that I ended up fixing on my truck, what I found, especially on my trailer too, what I fixed and what I found. So, you know, until next time, thanks for watching.